In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to become a millionaire even if you're completely broke, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, how I thought about it, the business model I used, and exactly how I was able to achieve complete financial freedom in my life at the age of 22 years old. And so for those who don't know me, just to show you one of my results, so this is from one day in January, so the 20th of January, I made over $10,000, so just to show you it's legit, I can click on the different timestamps, which you can't do in a screenshot. So just to show you why you should listen to myself and why you should stay to the end of the video, and put your phone away and actually watch the video and pay your full attention, because I'm someone who went from being completely broke to now having my dream life. I've generated over 7 figures, I've got multiple Rolexes, I live my dream life, I stay in Dubai, etc, etc, and I've gave back to my family. So the first thing you need to understand in order to make money is that money cannot be made, it can only be taken. So unless you're a central bank where you physically print money, you can't make money. It's impossible to do. You can only take. And so in order to take money, you may be asking, how do you do that? You simply provide something known as value. So in order to make money equals value. So this is the money equation, and in this video I'll probably do a lot of equations is to break things down and make things easier to understand. So in order to make money, you must provide value. So if you're asking what is value, value is simply an exchange of service rendered or products rendered. So in order to make money or take money, you must provide a service or a product, essentially. That's in a nutshell, that is this equation. So now we know we need to provide value. You may be asking, who do we provide value to? How many people do we provide value to? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 5? Is it 100? The simple answer is, the more people you can impact, the more people you can provide value to, the more money you'll make. And that's something called the law of affection. So if I just clear this out of the way. So the law of affection simply states, to summarize it in one sentence, is to impact millions is to make millions. So the more people that you can impact, the more money you will create as a result. So the law of affection is simply a universal law, and a universal law is a law that exists that we do not have the power to create or alter. And so they always exist and always will. So a more popular one may be the law of attraction or the law of gravity. These are things that exist and we cannot do anything to change. So the more people that you can affect, i.e. law of affection, the more money you'll make. And this can be done in 2 ways. So way number 1 that the law of affection can be used is scale. And the second way is magnitude. So scale simply means, can you affect lots of people? So imagine a little to a lot. So you're maybe selling a £10 product to 1 million people, you'll become a millionaire. Or you're selling a service which costs £7.99 a month, i.e. Netflix, to 10 million people, you become a decimillionaire, essentially. Whereas magnitude is basically you're selling a lot to a little. So something that costs a lot of money to a small amount of people. So imagine you're selling something that costs maybe 30,000 and you'd only need to do that to 30 people in order to become a millionaire, or 33 people even. Or you could maybe find a property that's going for 1 million and you could sell it to someone for 2 million, and you've simply done one transaction but you've still made £1 million. And that is how you do it via magnitude. And now that we know you can impact people via scale of magnitude, to give you an example of that, this would be why sort of athletes or rappers, or who else would there be, actors, these are why each of these roles are all paid large sums of money, and they're all millionaires essentially. Not because it's some special job, it's because they each impact millions of people through scale. So athletes, lots of people watch the TV, lots of people go to football games, etc, etc, and therefore they're able to make lots of money because they impact millions of people. The same with rappers. Rappers, they stream millions all over the world, millions of people listen to their stream, and as a result they get paid very healthily in accordance to that. And finally, actors, millions of people go to the cinema and people watch, let's say people go and watch the films, so they get revenue from that. They also get revenue from the cinemas, which there are millions all over the world. And so hopefully this real life example gives you guys a better understanding of kind of how it works in a nutshell. Now each of these all impact people in a positive way, so they provide value. So the athletes, they provide entertainment, and I'm sure the majority of people watching this video aren't a rapper, an athlete or an actor, and so you may be wondering, how is this going to apply to me? So how are you going to provide value? Well, you simply provide value by selling products. I should probably do this in lowercase. You sell products and you do it online. And basically when you sell products online, no one wants to buy a product. What they want to buy is a solution to their problem, and you simply advertise your product as that solution to their problem. So for example, if I was selling, for instance, this LED diffuser, which I've sold myself and made multiple 6 figures doing, I wouldn't advertise that product as come buy this diffuser. I would advertise it as does your room stink, does your car stink, etc., etc. Well, you need this diffuser. So I'm basically creating my product or introducing my product rather as a solution to the problem. And another example would be a back cracker. No one wants to buy a back cracker. What they want is to have their back pain alleviated, and you simply introduce your product as that solution, and basically you bridge the gap between their problem and your product. And as a result, you'll get paid very healthily in accordance to that. So that's basically what you want to do. And if you have a product that has a lot of demand, you can sell lots of units of it. You can sell millions, and that's how you easily become a millionaire. Because like I mentioned at the start of the video, you can't make money, you can only take money. So this is how we are taking money. We're providing a product as a solution to a problem, and the law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, can only be transformed. So to give you a kind of better example of that concept, if you've never heard that before, so for instance, imagine you're in a 9 to 5 and you get paid 2k a month in your 9 to 5, and so you go home, you get your paycheck, and maybe you get £1,600 after tax. You then go to Starbucks and you buy a coffee for maybe $5 or whatever. So Starbucks has now been given £5. Starbucks haven't made £5, they've just taken £5 from this person who works in 95. And maybe someone else comes in and purchases something again for $5, but they pay it using a $10 bill. They'll be given this $5 as change. So that same money has not been made, it's just been transferred, and then the person who purchased the new item may go and get a haircut, and his money then gets transferred over to the barber, and the barber may go and buy a holiday, and that money then gets transferred to the airline, etc., etc. So you can see how money is never created, it's just transferred from one basically business to another, or one person to another, through a form of value exchange. And in order to create value, you must alleviate pain. You can do that by selling a product, through providing a service, etc., etc. And notice how I'm saying sell products on the internet instead of in person, because it's all about leverage and impacting more people. Let's say the more people you can impact, the more money you'll make. Whereas, so if you're selling stuff in person, whether it be door to door or whether it be whatever it may be in person, then you're only limited to the amount of people you'll see in a day, and also how many hours are in the day. So you're physically capped. Whereas if you're selling online, you can literally sell 24/7, 365. There's no limit to basically how many people can see your ad, how many people can see your product, your website, etc., etc. You just need to post more content or spend more money on ads to get the product or the service in front of more people's eyeballs. So that's why I do recommend selling products online is the best business model to do that. So now that we know that, you may be asking, what is the business model that I'm talking about? So the two business models that exist are Shopify dropshipping, so DS, or Amazon FBA. So Amazon FBA is simply where you sell products online and Amazon fulfill it. Shopify dropshipping is where you sell products online and a Chinese supplier fulfills it. So both of them follow this kind of law of affection, and you'll make a lot of money probably doing both of them. However, when it comes to selecting a business model and the one that's made me rich, I would obviously choose Shopify dropshipping, and hence why I would recommend the people watching this to also try Shopify dropshipping. But I'm not biased. I was in the same position as yourself. I wanted to get rich, I had no money, and for me it came down to what was best for me. Let's say, I don't care if it's however I make money, I just know that dropshipping is the best way to make money. Because if you were to weigh up the pros and cons of any business model, the one with the most pros would be the one you start. So with these two, they both have pros that you can sell products online, you can impact lots of people, etc., etc. However, the con with Amazon is that you need to buy the stock or the inventory upfront, and you don't know if it's going to sell. Whereas with dropshipping, you can still advertise the product, but you need no inventory, so there's no risk. And there's essentially no startup cost, or little to no startup cost, especially in comparison to Amazon, where you may need a couple of £1,000 or a few £1,000 at least investment for your stock, and it might not sell. And also with Amazon, it's difficult to compete or stand out essentially. You don't have a moat because you're all competing on the platform, which basically has buyer intent. And for instance, if you ever went on Amazon, you go on Amazon knowing what you're going to buy. You don't go on and randomly find stuff and buy it. You already type in what you're going to buy, look for the cheapest one and buy it. And that's why it's basically a race to the bottom. Due to the competition, the only way to stand out is to have cheaper prices, and the fastest way to go to business is to compete on price, which is why Amazon I would not recommend, and I would recommend everyone watching this to choose Shopify dropshipping, which is exactly what I did and what I showed at the start of the video. One of my stores that generated, I don't know if you can see that, 8.4k in a single day, £8,400 in a single day. You could buy one of these every day if you made that amount of money. So that's what I would recommend. But the final thing that is the most important thing, and probably the most underrated thing, is if I just remove this and actually right up here, as you can probably see it better, is time. So the most important thing in any business model or in life is you need to give time. So volume is the answer, but time is the ingredient. So volume equals answer and time equals ingredient. So in order to become successful, you must do the repetitions, you must do the reps, you must do the volume in order to achieve the result. However, the right thing in the wrong quantity will still fail. So you need to do it for a long enough period of time in order to see success. So for instance, if you go to the gym and you work out and you eat clean and you follow a diet plan and you do progressive overload, even though you're following the right structure, but if you only do that for a day or a week, you're going to go home and look in the mirror and see no results, and then you could say it doesn't work. Whereas it does work, you just haven't given it enough time. Same with Shopify dropshipping. You might create one store, test one product, run one ad, and you might do it for a day and you're not a millionaire. And you might say, oh, Shopify doesn't work. It does work, but you just haven't given it enough time. And that's why time is literally the most important thing that we have. It's the biggest asset. It can either go for you or it can go against you. It's as simple as that. We are what we repeatedly do. And if your habits are not doing anything, not consuming this kind of knowledge, not testing ways of making money, that will be your outcome, that will be your life. Whereas if you constantly are consuming the knowledge for a long enough period of time, let's say, you will see the results. For instance, you might watch this video and you might not make £1 million tomorrow, but over a long enough period of time, you will make money, and it'll be thanks to this video and thanks to the kind of knowledge you've consumed and the way that's kind of change the way you see things and your perception and your sort of paradigm in life. And that's something that I can maybe make a whole separate video on, is your paradigm and how you see things and your perspective, etc, etc. But hopefully this has made sense and showed you that in order to become a millionaire, no matter if you're completely broke, do Shopify dropshipping, affect lots of people, sell lots of products, provide lots of value, and money is exchanged for value. And so the more value you can provide, the more money you'll make. A good example of that is Elon Musk, billionaire. Look at the kind of problems he's solving compared to someone who works in McDonald's and the problem they're solving is flipping burgers, essentially. They get paid. There's quite a big pay difference there. So hopefully this helped. Let's say I do Shopify dropshipping, generated well over 7 figures from that. If you'd like my help one-on-one personally to help you and scale you up, then you can book in a call using the link in the description, and you can jump on and speak to me or a member of my team and you can get started. Hope this helps. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.